Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to make a kaleidoscope image on Photoshop using one of your building photographs. So first thing we need to do is to choose an image to work with. So I'm going to choose an image that's got quite a lot of contrast and a kind of pattern to it, so it should hopefully work quite well when it's transformed into a pattern. The first thing we're going to do with this is to crop it so that it's a square rather than a rectangle, and we need to make it so that it's 1000 pixels high, 1000 pixels wide. So to do that we just use the crop tool here, put in, just check that this drop down is selected on size and resolution, key in 1000 pixels high, so width and height 1000 each, and then 300 resolution, and that is pixels per inch on the resolution. Then click OK. Once you're happy with that, just click the tick, and at this point it will go quite small. So to make that a bit more visible again for you, go View, Fit on Screen, and then you'll be able to kind of see it a little bit better for you. Now what I want you to do is to save this to your Apple Cart. I'm going to save it just to my desktop. I want you to save it to your Apple Cart just to be on the safe side, so you can access it easily again. Keep it at a maximum JPEG at this stage. Okay. Now next thing you need to do is to make a new file on Photoshop. So this can be closed, and then File Open, File New, sorry. And we're going to make this the same width and height. So 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels and 300 pixels per inch on the resolution. And then just click OK, and you'll see that you should now have a similar image, similar size to the, or same size to the other image, so a nice square. Okay, now next thing you're going to do is you're going to place some guides on your new file. So I want you to go View, New Guides, or New Guide. Okay, and we'll do the vertical one first, so click vertical here. If it's on horizontal, just click to vertical, and then type in at the bottom here 50%, and you'll see a line comes up halfway across your image, or halfway across your file. You're going to do another one, so again View, New Guide, this time horizontal, and again 50%. Okay. Now next thing you're going to do is you can use something called the pen tool, which is located here. Just if you can't find that, it might be that one of the other tools from here are selected. Make sure it is just the straightforward pen tool that you've got selected. Make sure you have shape selected at the top here on the drop down and not path, so it needs to be shape. Click on the centre of this page where the lines cross, and try to be pretty accurate about this. So you click here, then you're going to go to the top right of the page, click, so you're going to form a triangle, and then you're going to click here where the line meets the edge, and then across to the centre. Okay, and there you have, and your triangle will show up in black. At this point, what you're going to do is you're going to add your chosen image. So you need to be on the Move tool for this one here, and you're going to go File, Place. You're going to locate your image. Okay, so the image that I just saved is this one here. So you're going to click and then Place, and you'll see the image fills the whole page at this stage. Don't worry, it will fill the triangle in a moment. Your image should be the exact size of the new file because you saved it to the same dimensions as your new file. If it isn't, then you can expand it to fit the page. Okay, If you don't have an interesting bit of the image in the triangle that you selected here, then you can actually rotate your image until you can find a nice kind of busy area, something a bit more interesting. So I'm going to try and get this pink section in here. I'm just having a little bit of a... Right, let's just cancel that for the moment. Okay, so let's try again. I didn't have my mouse mat in the right place, so you do need to make sure that you are ready to do that. Okay, file place again, and then I'm just going to turn, so you can see the little kind of curvy arrow that I've selected there. I'm going to twist this around until I've got the section of the image that I quite like in that triangular section. It can be a bit tricky getting this lined up, so try your best. You can make some adjustments later to improve that. Okay. There we go. Once you're happy with that, you're just going to click the tick at the top there. And now the next thing you're going to do, it still won't fill the triangle at this stage. Next thing you need to really concentrate here is you're going to go layer at the top here and then create clipping mask. Okay, you should now have a triangle filled with the part of your original image that you selected. Okay, now the next stage is to look at your layers palette. Your layers palette is over here. And what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to select the two top layers by clicking on one and then holding down Shift while you click on the other. Okay, so you're going to hold Shift and click the second layer alongside the top one that's already selected there. Okay. Then you're going to find the small drop-down arrow, the top right of your layers palette, this little tiny drop-down arrow here. You're going to click on that and you're going to click Convert to Smart Object. Okay. And then you are going to click and drag the top layer to duplicate layer button at the bottom of your layers palette. So you're going to click this down to here, and you'll see you've duplicated that same layer, so you've got two of them. Now the exciting thing starts, and you're going to start to create your kaleidoscope. So you're going to need to be clicked onto this top layer, have that top layer highlighted, and you're going to go Edit, Free Transform. Okay. Then at this point you're going to right click on your image here and then click Flip Horizontal. And you can see you've now begun your kaleidoscope image. Tick to complete the transformation, so tick. Okay. Now you're going to build your kaleidoscope a little bit more, so you're going to select the two top layers now, so click the Shift, select your two top layers in your layers palette. You're going to drag these down to the little duplicate layer symbol here, and so you've now got 4 layers. Okay, so you've duplicated the two top layers, so you've got 4 here. Now with the two top layers selected as they are here, so both highlighted, click Edit, Free Transform. Okay, now what you've got to do now, this is a little bit tricky, is find the anchor point that appears part way down the centre guideline here. Move this to the middle of the page, okay, just here, so that it's right over that little square in the middle of the page there, where the guidelines cross. And then you are going to continue to make your kaleidoscope. So you're going to go right click and flip vertical. Okay, and you'll see your kaleidoscope's really starting to happen now. Tick to complete the transformation as you did before. Okay, now finalise your kaleidoscope. So you're going to select all the layers now, the 4 top layers. So click Shift. To do this, be clicked on the top one first, click Shift, click the bottom one, and they'll all be selected there. Now drag these down to the duplicate layer button again, and you can see you've got 8 layers now. Okay, so you're building it up. Now make sure the top 4 layers are selected and click Edit, Free Transform again here. Now what you're going to do is you're going to do what you did before with the kind of making sure you've got the little curvy arrow at the corner of your image there, and you are going to rotate the image by grabbing the curved handle, and hopefully you can now see there's your kaleidoscope, really starting to look quite fun. Okay, now your pattern is complete. Now, having done that, don't forget to click the tick to transform the image. Now you're going to make it even more complicated, your image. You can see there's a couple of little kind of white lines here. Don't worry too much about that. Some people kind of get really fussy about it and want to kind of make improvements to that. There are ways you can do that, but I think it can actually kind of enhance the image if you have a little bit of that in there. Okay. So now you're going to go Edit, Define Pattern, and we're going to give it a name. So we're going to call it, I don't know, Kaleidoscope. I have to get used to being able to spell kaleidoscope, which is a really tricky word. Okay. And now create a new A4 file. So File, New. Now we're going to change the preset here to International Paper, and then we're going to select Size A4 and then click OK. So just make sure A4 is selected there, and you're going to click OK. Now you've got an A4 file, and you're going to start sort of doing something with that in a moment. Now on the Layers palette here, on your new file, you'll have a background layer. Now what we want to do with this is to actually turn this into a layer 0. So to do this, just right click, duplicate layer, right click layer from background, and you'll see layer 0 come up. You just click OK, and you need to do this because otherwise it may not work. Now click on the FX button at the bottom here, which is the Create a Layer Style button, and select Pattern Overlay. Okay, and then you will see this window come up. Now what you need to do at this stage is to select your own pattern. So to find your own pattern, you need to click on here, and you'll find it. Here's your pattern here that we've just created. I think it might be this one actually. Okay, sorry, no, this one. Yeah, okay, this is one that I created previously. So, and you'll see that you've filled the page with your pattern, kind of repeated over and over again. Now what you can do here is you can alter this with the slider, so you can make it bigger, smaller, so you've got lots more of the pattern repeated in there. Okay, once you're happy with that, then you click OK and make sure that you save this image as well. File, Save As, maybe call this something like Repeat Kaleidoscope, Repeat Cal, something like that. And we're going to save this now as a JPEG so that it's going to be easier to save onto your Tumblr. So save, make it a medium-sized JPEG, which is always easier to upload to Tumblr as well. A 6 should be fine. If not, try a 5. If when you try to upload your file to Tumblr it doesn't work, you can always try and change it to a 5. Okay, so we've got our original kaleidoscope here, and now our repeated pattern kaleidoscope. Okay, so quite a complex process, but worth it for the effect that you get, especially if you choose quite an interesting image to work with.